Namaste, Dandava Pranam. By the instruction and grace of our spiritual master, Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Shripad Bhakti Madhava Puri Maharaj, we are here reading Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Canto 3, the Status Quo, Chapter 20, Text 40. Shristbha Bhuta Pisachamscha Bhagavan Atma Tandrina Digvashaso Mukta Keshan Viksha Chamilaya Drisho. The glorious Brahma next evolved from his sloth the ghosts and fiends, but he closed his eyes when he saw them stand naked with their hair scattered. Purport. Ghosts and mischievous hobgoblins are also the creation of Brahma. They are not false. All of them are meant for putting the conditioned soul into various miseries. They are understood to be the creation of Brahma under the direction of the Supreme Lord. Text 41. Jagrustad Vishrishtam Jagrihustad Vishrishtam Tam Drimbhanakyam Tanum Prabho Nidram Indriya Vikledo Yaya Bhuteshu Drishyate Ye no Chistandarasyanti Tam Unmadam Prachakshate. The ghosts and hobgoblins took possession of the body thrown off in the form of a yawning by Brahma, the creator of the living entities. This is also known as the sleep which causes drooling. The hobgoblins and ghosts attack men who are impure, and their attack is spoken of as insanity. Purport. The disease of insanity or being haunted by ghosts takes place in an unclean state of existence. Here it is clearly stated that when a man is fast asleep and saliva flows from his mouth and he remains unclean, ghosts then take advantage of his unclean state and haunt his body. In other words, those who drool while sleeping are considered unclean and are subject to be haunted by ghosts or to go insane. Text 42. Or jasvantam manyamana atmanam bhagavan aja sadhyan ganan pitriganan parokshe nasrajat prabhu. Recognizing himself to be full of desire and energy, the worshipful Brahma, the creator of the living entities, evolved from his own invisible form, from his navel, the hosts of the Sadhyas and Pittas. Purport. The Sadhyas and Pittas are invisible forms of departed souls, and they are also created by Brahma. Text 43. Ta'atma sargam tam kayam itaraha pratipidre sadhyebhyascha pitribhyascha kavayo yadvitanvate. The Pittas themselves took possession of the invisible body, the source of their existence. It is through the medium of this invisible body that those well versed in the rituals offer oblations to the Sadhyas and the Pittas in the form of their departed ancestors on the occasion of Shraddha. Purport. Shraddha is a ritualistic performance observed by the followers of the Vedas. There is a yearly occasion of 15 days when ritualistic religionists follow the principle of offering oblations to departed souls. Thus, those fathers and ancestors who, by freaks of nature, might not have a gross body for material enjoyment, can again gain such bodies due to the offering of Shraddha oblations by their descendants. The performance of Shraddha or offering oblations with prasad is still current in India, especially at Gaya, where oblations are offered at the lotus feet of Vishnu in a celebrated temple. Because the Lord is thus pleased with the devotional service of the descendants, by his grace he liberates the condemned souls of forefathers who do not have gross bodies, and he favors them to again receive a gross body for development of spiritual advancement. Unfortunately, by the influence of Maya, the conditioned soul employs the body he gets for sense gratification, forgetting that such an occupation may lead him to return to an invisible body. The devotee of the Lord, or one who is in Krishna consciousness, however, does not need to perform such ritualistic ceremonies as Shraddha, because he is always pleasing the Supreme Lord. Therefore, his fathers and ancestors who might have been in difficulty are automatically relieved. The vivid example is Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj requested Lord Nrsimhadev to deliver his sinful father, who had so many times offended the lotus feet of the Lord. The Lord replied that in a family where a Vaishnava like Prahlad is born, not only is his father, but his father's father and their fathers, up to the 14th father back, are all automatically delivered. The conclusion, therefore, is that Krishna consciousness is the sum total of all good work for the family, for society, and for all living entities. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, the author says that a person fully conversant with Krishna consciousness does not perform any rituals because he knows that simply by serving Krishna in full Krishna consciousness, all rituals are automatically performed. Dandavat Pranam, Anders ji. Hare Krishna. Text 44. Siddhan vidyadaram straiva tirodhanena sosrijat tibhyo dadat tam atmanam antardhanakyam adbhutam. Then Lord Brahma, by his ability to be hidden from vision, created the Siddhas and the Vidyadharas and gave them that wonderful form of his known as the Antardhan. Antardhana means that these living creatures can be perceived to be present, but they cannot be seen by vision. Text 45. Sakinaran kim purushan pratyatmyen srijat prabhuhu manayan atmanatmanam atmabhasham vilokayan. One day, Brahma, the creator of the living entities, beheld his own reflection in the water, and admiring himself, he evolved Kim Purushas, as well as the Kinnaras, out of that reflection. Hare Krishna. Text 46. Tetu taj jagru rupam tyaktam yat paramastina mituni bhuya gayantas tam evo shasi karmabi. The Kim Purushas and the Kinnaras took possession of that shadowy form left by Brahma. That is why they and their spouses sing his praises by recounting his exploits at every daybreak. Purport. The time early in the morning, 1.5 hours before sunrise, is called Brahma Muhurta. During this Brahma Muhurta, spiritual activities are recommended. Spiritual activities performed early in the morning have a greater effect than in any other part of the day. Text 47. Dehena vai bhagavata sayano bahu chintaya sarge nupachite krodhad utsarja hatad vapuhu. Once Brahma lay down with his body stretched at full length, He was very concerned that the work of creation had not proceeded apace, and in a sullen mood he gave up that body too. Text 48. Yehi yanta muta kesha ahayaste nigha janjire sarpa prashar pata krura nagabo guru kandara. O dear Vidura, the hair that dropped from that body transformed into snakes, and even while the body crawled along with its hands and feet contracted, there sprang from it ferocious serpents and nagas with their hoods expanded. 49. Sa'atmanam manyamana kritakrityam ivatmabu tadhamanun sasarjante manasa loka bhavanan. One day, Brahma, the self-born, the first living creature, felt as if the object of his life had been accomplished. At that time, he evolved from his mind the Manus, who promote the welfare activities of the universe. 50. Tebhyaha so srijat sviyam puram purusham atmavan Tandrishtvaye purasrishtan prashashamshu prajapatim. The self-possessed creator gave them his own human form. On seeing the Manus, those who had been created earlier, the demigods, the Gandharvas, and so on, applauded Brahma, the Lord of the universe. 51. Aho etaj jaktrasta shukritam vata te kritam patistita kriya yasmin shakam anam adhamahe. They prayed, O Creator of the universe, we are glad. What you have produced is well done. Since ritualistic acts have now been established soundly in this human form, we shall all share the sacrificial oblations. Purport. The importance of sacrifice is also mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, 3rd chapter, verse 10. The Lord confirms that in the beginning of creation, Brahma created the Manus along with the ritualistic sacrificial method and blessed them. Continue these sacrificial rites, and you will be gradually elevated to your proper position of self-realization and will also enjoy material happiness. All the living entities created by Brahma are conditioned souls and are inclined to lord it over material nature. The purpose of sacrificial rituals is to revive gradually the spiritual realization of the living entities. That is the beginning of life within this universe. These sacrificial rituals, however, are intended to please the Supreme Lord. Unless one pleases the Supreme Lord, or unless one is Krishna conscious, one cannot be happy either in material enjoyment or in spiritual realization. 52. Tapasa vidyaya yukto yogena sushamhadina rishin rishir rishikesha sasharja bhimata praja. Having equipped himself with austere penance, adoration, mental concentration, and absorption in devotion, accompanied by dispassion and having controlled his senses, Brahma, the self-born living creature, evolved great sages as his beloved sons. Purport. The ritualistic performances of sacrifice are meant for material economic development. In other words, they are meant to keep the body in good condition for the cultivation of spiritual knowledge. But for actual attainment of spiritual knowledge, other qualifications are needed. What is essential is vidya, or worship of the Supreme Lord. Sometimes the word yoga is used to refer to the gymnastic performance of different bodily postures, which help mental concentration. Generally, the different bodily postures in the yoga system are accepted by less intelligent men to be the end of yoga, but actually they are meant to concentrate the mind upon the supersoul. After creating persons for economic development, Brahma created sages who would set the example for spiritual realization. Text 53. Tebhyas chaikai kasasvasya vihasyam sham adhad aja yatat samadhi yogardi tapo vidya viraktimat. To each one of these sons, the unborn creator of the universe gave a part of his own body, which was characterized by deep meditation, mental concentration, supernatural power, austerity, adoration, and renunciation. Purport. The word viraktimat in this verse means possessed of the qualification of renunciation. Spiritual realization cannot be attained by materialistic persons. For those who are addicted to sense enjoyment, spiritual realization is not possible. In Bhagavad Gita, it is stated that those who are too attached to seeking material possessions and material enjoyment cannot reach yoga samadhi, absorption in Krishna consciousness. Propaganda that one can enjoy this life materially and at the same time spiritually advance is simply bogus. The principles of renunciation are 4. 1, to avoid illicit sex life. 2, to avoid eating meat. 3, to avoid intoxication. And 4, to avoid gambling. These 4 principles are called tapasya, or austerity. To absorb the mind in the supreme in Krishna consciousness is the purpose of spiritual realization. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports of the 3rd canto, 20th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Conversation between Maitreya and Vidura. Thus ends our reading for today. We'll continue from chapter 21, Conversation between Manu and Kardama, on Wednesday. Are there any comments or questions from the devotees? If not, then we'll finish. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Shripad Bhakti Madhava Puri Maharaj Ki Jai.
Jai.
Jai Srila Prabhupada, Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Gurudev, Srila Acharya Dev, Srila Shanta Maharaj Ki Jai.
Jai.
Jai Rupanuga Guru Varga Ki Jai.
Jai.
All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the worldwide devotees, Sama Bhaktiveda Vrinda Ki Jai.
Jai.
Jai Navadvip Dham Ki Jai, Nrsimhapali
Jai.
Dham Ki Jai, Mayapur
Jai.
Dham Ki Jai.
Jai.
Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai, Baladev
Jai.
Subhadra Jagannath Ju Ki Jai.
Jai.
Ganga Mai Yamuna Mai Ki Jai, Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai.
Jai.
Gir Govardhan Gupta Govardhan Dham Ki Jai, Sham
Jai.
Kund Radha Kund Ki Jai.
Jai.
Tulsi Devi Bhakti Devi Vrinda Devi Ki Jai.
Jai.
Jai Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai, Jai
Jai.
Harinam Sankirtan Yagya Ki Jai, Scientific
Jai.
Sankirtan Yagya Ki Jai.
Jai.
Princeton Bhaktivedanta Institute Ki Jai, Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Institute Ki Jai, Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hari 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 Bol. Jai Shrimati Uma Devi Dasi Ki Jai. Jai Anders Ji Ki Jai. Hare Krishna.
श्रीपाद कृष्ण केशव प्रभु जी की जय।
Jai Gurudev. Pranam. Hari Bol.